This edition of Supporting Cast is brought to you by Grant Thornton, the official accounting services partner of the Tony Awards. We're shining the spotlight on the supporting cast whose unrelenting passion and talent make the momentous performances of the 2018 nominees possible.
I'm personally the Egyptian Arabic dialect coach, so I help the actors to correctly pronounce all the lines that they have in Arabic with the Egyptian colloquialism and accent, and also I do the same with the English so that their English has an Egyptian accent.
I am the Israeli dramaturg and the Hebrew dialect coach, and I did similar things. I made sure that they speak Hebrew correctly when they're actually speaking Hebrew, and that when they're speaking in English, they speak in an Israeli/Hebrew dialect.
We all want them to have, the tools to succeed, and sometimes, we had conversations where we were like, well, sometimes we just need to let them breathe a little bit. We want them to be great, and they are, and how do we also compromise in this and, let them fly?
So it's not anxiety producing, because Israeli dialect and also Arabic dialect can be really, really difficult for English speaking actors. And so how do you both try to get the best sound that you can from them? It's sort of like performance, right? How can you get the best performance without causing added anxiety and them just sitting there, or while they're doing the show, being worried about every sound that comes from their mouths?
You know what, General? You can stay here with us tonight if you want to.
No. You have done too much already.
Okay.
The Band's Visit is my first experience as a dialect coach. So I'm primarily an actor as well. I write and all that, but I speak several languages. And when you're an actor and you're trying to do multiple things, one of my many survival gigs is teaching languages, because I'm blessed enough to speak several languages. And I got invited through Georgia Bood, actually, one of the actors in The Band's Visit, who I met, and he emailed me one day and he said to me, hey, I'm going to do this show, and I was wondering if you'd be interested maybe to come and help us out. And at first my thought was like, oh, I've never done this. I'd like to explore this realm. This is very interesting, because I taught languages. I'm an actor, but I actually never did both or blended both. This is going to be an interesting experience, and that's how I jumped in.
Mouna jumped in for the Atlantic production, and during the Atlantic production, I was just the wife of Andrew Polk, but really not involved. And it's important to say that Jonathan Raviv, the actor who's playing Sami and the security guard, was the dialect coach on the Atlantic production. But as they moved to Broadway, as they were getting ready to move to Broadway, they realized they needed a dramaturg and a dialect coach, because Jonathan was going to be an actor on Broadway. And so I got a call from the producers, who heard about me from other people, didn't quite remember that I was Andrew's wife, and then I said, yes, I have done dramaturgy work and dialect coaching before on a different production at ACT in San Francisco. I'm primarily a playwright, and what I do is I write about Israel and the Arab world primarily, sort of the conflict history, etc. So I came with that knowledge, and I actually grew up down south in Israel as a child in a town very similar to Petah Tikva. So I know those people, I know these areas, and I could be a reference point for the production. We worked very, very closely with the musical director, Andrea Grody, who's incredible and is younger than all of us and is holding all of us in place. And so we really, Andrea, what was important to Andrea is that the song is heard and the notes are heard, and that doesn't come before. So the song has to be first, and meaning has to be first. So what we tried to do is really kind of what Mouna is saying is almost like an artist with a little paintbrush, just a few sounds here and there that will enhance the song. It would be clear that these characters are not from, New York City, but they're from somewhere else, but it's not as clear as we do when they're speaking.
And here's this man right here beside me, kind of deep and kind of cute in his Sergeant Pepper suit. Is this my chic? Is this my Omar Sharif? Well, I know it's something different.
I've been going a lot because Dariush Hashani took over for Tony, so of course I was working with him, and at the beginning I was there pretty much a lot, and to just monitor his work, but also try and see how the others were doing. And I guess once everything is flowing, you try to be there once a month, maybe twice a month, and just keep a conversation open with the actors, and because at some point they become also your friends, so we're here for them. And we talk with stage management, we talk with all the creatives, and we're there when they need us, basically.
Just this whole experience of getting to be part of this incredible production and see how things work, what needed to happen for all of this to work so well, how much people needed to put their egos aside in order for this beautiful thing to come to be, has informed everything, all of my work.
It was so humbling, and as Zohar said, it was like people need to put egos aside, but we also put our egos aside. It's very humbling, and I think it helped me grow as an actor, but mostly as just a person, to see that we are all going through the same in order to make things happen.
And I think it's also important to say, I've talked about the anxiety, but just how hard they all worked.
Yes.
And to get these sounds right, and they were sounding amazing, and just how hard and difficult, and how dedicated to the work everyone was, and to sort of being the top of their game constantly and willing to get better constantly. It's been an experience of a lifetime.
I don't know if you had this, but sometimes I felt like I was their mom, because they would go and do this, and they come. Did I say it right? Is it okay? Am I doing it good? Yes, you're fine. Don't worry. Okay, now do this next. Don't worry if it doesn't sound perfect. No, but I want to sound great.
They really
I don't want to.
such
They're all
perfectionists.
so perfectionists, but that's the challenge. We all have to breathe.
Yes.
I think, right?
Yes.
This is one of the few stories, and I don't know that many, that focus on what makes us similar, talking about, Israelis and Egyptians, or Israelis and Arabs, and that we all are longing for the same thing, and we all have missed opportunities, we all have the same fears, and it focuses on the human essence rather than conflict.
They say that the theater is sort of a mirror up to life or nature, and I think what's interesting about this story is it's a mirror of what could possibly be. It's a mirror of the hope and what is possible, and that feels very important these days. So.
Only me, only you when the sun is gone. Only me when the moon without, with the world all around me, with the world around me. Only you when the sun and moon and stars are gone. What's left is only you. Will you answer me? Answer me.
Once, not long ago, a group of musicians came to Israel from Egypt. You probably didn't hear about it. It wasn't very important.